Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, going to be talking through the NBA slate on Draftkings for Tuesday, January the 3rd. Now we have a small Tuesday slate, just a little three-gamer for tonight. But, as always guys, we're going to give a game-by-game breakdown of this three-game slate. What stands out to me taking a first look on Monday night when I'm making this video. Before we do get started with the breakdown though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos, if they do help you out, please hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet, and if you guys are new to the channel, you have not checked out the sponsor, check out PrizePicks. They are the sponsor of this video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks, use my promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And for those of you that have never heard about PrizePicks, they're a player prop site, more focused on, over, under, more or less. So you can see they have some projections posted for Tuesday's games, some points props, rebounds, assists, three-pointers made. Obviously, this is not their full board. Once we get closer to the start of the games on Tuesday night, you'll see a ton of player props posted from all the games, from a ton of different players. If there's anything that stands out to you, you just take more or less on a player's projection. You have to make at least 2 picks. We can make up to 6 picks, and you can win up to 25x your money on PrizePicks. So give them a try, guys. Sign up with that promo code NOAH, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's talk through Tuesday's little three-game slate, and we'll start off with the first game of the night, the Celtics and the Thunder. So this is one that has a little bit of blowout risk. OKC, they are playing at home here, so I think that makes it a little bit more likely this game stays competitive. Right now, I think Boston's favored by like 8.5. If this game stays close, we can expect really big minutes for Jason Tatum, for Jaylen Brown. We'll start off with them, start off with the Boston side. So Tatum's coming in at 10,700. Brown's coming in at 9,300. I think Tatum at this price tag is a decent pay-up option. Obviously, on a 3-game slate, we're going to be limited with guys that we can pay up for. When you're looking at the other studs on the slate, you do have Giannis, you do have Domantas Sabonis in a really good spot. You have guys like De'Aaron Fox you can go to. You obviously have Jaylen Brown you can go to. You have SGA on the other side of this game. So there's plenty of other pay-up options today. I wouldn't say that like Tatum is my favorite, but I don't have an issue going there. I think this matchup's fine. OKC's been playing at a fast pace this season. Their defense is not the best. Tatum probably gets guarded by Lou Dort here, but Dort's definitely a little undersized when it comes to Tatum. I think it's a matchup Tatum can definitely win in. So no issues going to Jason Tatum today. Jaylen Brown at 9,300 I think is fine as well. He should play big minutes here. Price tag feels about right, but obviously on a 3-game slate with limited options, I think Brown is totally viable. The rest of Boston though, so you have like Marcus Smart's coming in at 6K. As like a mid-range play, I'm fine with Marcus Smart here. He's not a guy that I really ever get excited to roster. He's not a player that offers a ton of upside. We don't really see him put up huge games that often, but he's pretty consistent, and normally he's going to give you like 30, 35 DK points most nights. At this 6K price tag, if you get 35, 36 DK points from Marcus Smart, you're probably going to be pretty happy with that, depending on how the rest of the slate plays out. But right now, there's like not a ton of value today. We'll have to wait and see if like any value opens up, but this could definitely be a slate where you're looking more towards the mid-range instead of like trying to go stars and scrubs. Again, we'll have to wait and see like what kind of value we get. But a 6K Marcus Smart on a slate like this, I think I'd be fine going to. So I do have some interest in Marcus Smart. And then the rest of Boston, Brogdon, Derek White, they're playable, but neither one I love on this slate. I think they're both priced correctly. Al Horford, I do want to talk about though in the bigs specifically. So obviously this is a really good matchup for bigs. We've targeted bigs against the Thunder pretty much all season. The Thunder have given up a lot of rebounds. They're a bad rebounding team. They give up a lot of fancy points to centers. Horford's only 4,800, and then Robert Williams is actually questionable for today, so this is going to be something to monitor. Robert Williams this season has been playing limited minutes off the bench. He'll probably play 18 to 20 minutes here. I think at 4,200, even if we get like 20 minutes from Robert Williams, the matchup is so good that this could definitely be one of those spots where Robert Williams puts up like 30 Draftkings points in 20 minutes, and on a 3-game slate with not much value right now, I actually do like Robert Williams' value play if he's able to play. Now, if he gets ruled out, that makes Horford even better, and I think Horford would be one of the better value plays on the slate if Robert Williams got ruled out. Now, Horford this season has not been a guy that's like been super, viable in DFS. Like he just hasn't shown a ton of upside. But I think without Williams, if Williams were to get ruled out, we could definitely expect Horford to play more minutes, probably low 30s, maybe mid 30s. Matchup's really, really good. He put up 37 DK points in 32 minutes against OKC this season. Would have a lot of interest in Horford if Williams gets ruled out today. Even if Williams plays, I still think Horford's solid just because the matchup is so good. But both Boston bigs I like today. Horford, at 4,800, I think is a good value. And then Rob Williams, if he plays, I think is an interesting value play as well. And obviously, again, if Rob Williams gets ruled out, that would be even better for Horford. But the rest of Boston, pretty much going to pass on. If Rob Williams does get ruled out, maybe you see some more minutes for Grant Williams, but at 3,500, he's a viable GBP play. Not a guy that really offers a ton of upside, but if you wanted to go there, I wouldn't hate it. You could see Boston play some small ball, maybe give Grant Williams some minutes at the 5 if Tom Lord were to sit. But that'll do it for the Celtics. Now talking about OKC here, you got SGA coming in at 10,300. Look, SGA's been an incredible player this season. He's playing at an MVP level. This is definitely not the best matchup against the Celtics, but last time these teams played, SGA put up 59 DK points in 35 minutes. He's going to play huge minutes if it's a close game. He's been a little bit underwhelming the last few games, but I definitely think he's bound to bounce back at some point. Is this the best spot for SGA? Obviously not, but I think he's still a viable play on a 3-game slate. Not a priority option for me, though. And a lot of these OKC guys I'm not super excited about. Giddey at 6,700. Minutes have been kind of all over the place, but the last 2 games, he has played 32 and 33 minutes. If he does continue to play low 30s minutes, I think at 6,700, he definitely has the upside to pay off this price tag. But we did see that game against San Antonio. Out of nowhere, he just played like 23 minutes, and I really don't know why. And that's happened a lot this season where he just kind of randomly gets benched. It's really weird. But I think we're going to get like 32, 33, 34 minutes from Giddey, and at 6,700, he's for sure in play on a 3-game slate. Probably going to pass on the rest of OKC, though. Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, not super interested in these guys. Last game we did see them. They went with Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, as their starting center without JRE and without Poku. Will they do that again? I don't really know. He played 24 minutes in that game, and then last game against Philly, he played 18 minutes. I can't remember if he started that game. I wasn't paying attention too much to NBA that day. I know that was on a Saturday. I think he might have started, but I'm not 100% sure. I probably should check that real quick because if Jalen Williams were to start at center again, I think he would be a viable value play. But let's take a look at who they went with in the starting lineup. So they did start. Jalen Williams again, and that was a tough matchup against Embiid. Obviously, this matchup against Boston is not great, but Jalen Williams is really cheap, 3,300. It looks like he did pick up 3 fouls. Not sure if those were like early fouls. He didn't have the best game overall. He's really cheap. He'd be an okay value play if he starts again, but I wouldn't get super excited about him. Mike Muscala played he played 17 minutes. Darius Bazley played 14 minutes. I mean, the Thunder, they're just going to run a deep rotation. They're going to play a lot of guys. And right now, when it comes to the center position, they're just going to play whoever they want. I mean, some nights it might be Muscala. Some nights it might be Bazley. Maybe they actually give Jalen Williams minutes. We just don't know. You could take a shot on one of those guys. I mean, Muscala's cheap, 3,600. Bazley's cheap. He's 3K. Whoever starts, it's probably going to be Williams. He's the guy that I think I feel best about, but I'll probably just be avoiding this OKC center rotation, kind of, whatever they're doing here with this 3-man committee they're running at center. Probably just going to pass on that. So let's move on to the next game, talk about Washington and Milwaukee. So looking at this game, we'll start off on the Milwaukee side. You got Giannis coming in at 12,100. Giannis really expensive, obviously been playing out of his mind lately, but do want to mention that Drew Holiday is probable for today, so Drew is expected back. I think with Drew coming back, that definitely caps the upside on Giannis a little bit. Now, can Giannis still go out there and put up 80 Draftkings points? He obviously can. I just don't think it's as likely, and with his price tag up to 12-1, I wouldn't consider Giannis a priority today. It's just, right now, we got to wait and see what kind of value we get. If it's really tough to build lineups with Giannis right now, but if we get a lot of value, I have no issue paying up for Giannis because we know he can put up those 70, 80-point games any night. Even with Drew back, he still has that upside in him. I just don't think it's as likely. And then Drew coming back at 8,100. Don't love him, but I think he's a playable option on a 3-game slate. But not a guy that I'd really be prioritizing. The rest of Milwaukee, I'm pretty much off of, especially with Drew back. Guys like Portis and Lopez, Javon Carter, none of these guys look that great. Pat Connaughton's been starting lately. He hasn't really been doing much as a starter, but he is still kind of cheap. If he starts again, I think he's an okay value play, but again, not a play that I'm super excited about. So that's pretty much it for the Bucks. I think the one guy that stands out here, is Giannis. And then on the Washington side, we do need to keep an eye on the status of Bradley Beal. He is once again questionable for this game. I think Beal has been out the last 2 or 3 games for Washington. Without Beal, we kind of know who benefits here. It's going to be Porzingis and Kuzma as the main beneficiaries. Tough matchup here for Porzingis against a really good Bucks defense that clogs the paint really well. Don't think he has the most upside in this matchup, but he's fine. He did really struggle against Milwaukee last time these teams played. only put up 35 DK points in 29 minutes. Again, don't love the matchup, but if Beal remains out, Porzingis' ceiling is definitely a little bit higher. Same could be said for Kyle Kuzma, 8,400. Don't love the matchup for him either, but he did do a lot better than Porzingis did last time these teams played. 33 minutes, 44 DK points at 8,400. I think Kuzma would be a viable option if Beal sits. If Beal plays, I'm not super interested in either one of Kuzma or Porzingis. And then if Beal himself is in, I think at 8K he's a viable play, but I'm not loving many Washington guys assuming that Beal is in. The only way I'm probably going to consider these guys is if Beal remains out. The value from Washington, I'll probably pass on. Monte Morris at 5K just hasn't shown a ton of upside this season. He's playable, but don't love him. Denny Avia's minutes have not been super high lately. He's only been playing like into the 20s, so that definitely caps his upside a little bit. He has been productive the last 2 games, but still, he's only been playing like 28, 29 minutes. I would want Avia to be getting like 34, 35 minutes, but at 4,600 on a 3-game slate, I think Avia is a playable value. And then Rui Hachimura had a really big game last game, played 32 minutes, had 38 Draftkings points. I know the Wizards have been running like a really tight rotation as of late. I think they played like an 8-man rotation last game until like the blowout occurred, and then they played some more guys. If they continue to run like an 8-man rotation, I think Rui should be getting like 24, 25 minutes. And again, it's a 3-game slate with minimal value, so I think Rui is someone we can maybe consider as a value play. But that probably does it for the Wizards. I think that's really everything that stands out here. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game, the last game of the night, the Kings and the Jazz. So starting off with the Kings, a lot to talk about here. Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk are both questionable, so this is where we could get some value for today if Huerter and or Monk got ruled out. I think if Huerter and Monk both got ruled out, the biggest beneficiaries would probably be, from a value perspective, would probably be, Harrison Barnes would look better, Keegan Murray would look better, and then I think Terrence Davis would be the guy that would pick up a lot of minutes in place of Huerter and Monk. Davis is $3K minimum salary. He would probably be like the best value play on the slate. We've seen Davis get starts at times this season and be solid. There's also been times where he started and kind of not played a ton of minutes, but obviously if they were to be missing Huerter and Monk, we could expect a pretty big minutes floor, I think, for Terrence Davis. I think most likely he would play 23, 24 minutes at least, and then you could definitely see him get into the 30s if he's playing really well. So those would be the guys that would benefit from a value perspective. Now, looking at some of the other Sacramento players, obviously Sabonis and Fox, solid options here. I think it's a really good spot for Domantas Sabonis. Made him the thumbnail for today. Great matchup against the Jazz, who have been getting killed by centers this season. These teams played a few days ago. Sabonis almost had a triple-double, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 52 Draftkings points. I know he's expensive at $10,500, but Sabonis has shown the upside to be worth this price tag, and he can put up 60-plus Draftkings points any game. And against a Jazz team that is really giving it up to centers this year, I really like Sabonis today as a pay-up option. He's definitely one of my favorites on the slate. De'Aaron Fox at 9K, I think is solid, but at this price tag, I'm not super in love with him. I think he should be priced like in the lower 8Ks. I think 9K is an appropriate price tag, if not a little bit too expensive for my liking. So I'm not super interested in Fox, but obviously on a 3-game slate, he is still a playable tournament option. And then Huerter and Monk, if they are in, at their price tags, I don't love either one, but I think Huerter is a guy that you can look to as kind of a value play. He's one of these guys that can get hot, can put up big games any night. He did have a lot of success against Utah when they last played, 40 Draftkings points in 30 minutes. Would not expect that type of game from Huerter, but if this game is competitive, he should play low to mid 30s minutes. He is somewhat affordable at $5,500. If he's in, I think he's in play for value. And that's probably it for Sacramento. The rest of these guys that we mentioned, like Barnes, Keegan Murray, obviously Terrence Davis as well. I think those guys I'm only going to if Monk or Huerter got ruled out, one of the two. If obviously they both get ruled out, there would be even more value to go to from Sacramento. But then on the Utah side, looking at the Jazz here, so Lauri Markkanen, 8,800, really expensive, but Lauri Markkanen's been putting up some big games lately, 50-plus Draftkings points in 3 out of his last 4 games. He's playing huge minutes right now. At this $8,800 salary, I think there's other guys I'd rather get up to. Like, I would rather pay up for like Sabonis and Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Even De'Aaron Fox, I think I might take over Lauri Markkanen. But, man, Markkanen just continues to put up huge game after huge game. And I think there's no issue playing him at this price tag. I think this price tag will definitely keep his ownership somewhat in check. Obviously, on a 3-game slate, he's going to get owned, but I don't think he'll be like super popular. He's a viable option. Jordan Clarkson at 7K is a viable option, but I don't love the price tag on these guys. The rest of Utah, I'm not super excited about. I mean, Mike Conley's 5,300. He hasn't shown much upside this season, but he is playing like 30 to 32 minutes a night, and it's a 3-game slate. It's also a good matchup against the Kings. We did see Conley put up 34 DK points in 30 minutes against Sacramento, so I think Conley as a value is okay. Kelly Olynyk at 5,200 feels priced about right, but he should play about 30 to 32 minutes if this game's competitive. I think the matchup's pretty favorable for him. Didn't do that well against Sacramento last time they played a few days ago, but I think we could expect Olynyk to have a better game here. So he's a viable, cheap option. But like Walker Kessler, now that Olynyk's back, I'm not super interested in. Jared Vanderbilt, not super interested in either. The rest of Utah, like Malik Beasley, NAW, I think these guys are just kind of like dart throws for tournaments. These are not priority plays for me, not guys that I think I'd be playing like in my main lineup or anything. But obviously on a 3-game slate, if you're playing a lot of lineups, you could definitely take a shot on a guy like Beasley because he's one of those guys that can get hot off the bench, can put up a big game any night. And obviously matchup against Sacramento is definitely favorable. But that probably will do it, guys. I think that does it for this little 3-game Tuesday slate. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Appreciate you watching. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, check out PrizePicks, sponsor of the video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks. Use my promo code Noah. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up for PrizePicks. Definitely check them out if you guys have not yet. But appreciate you watching the video. Best of luck on the slate, guys. Thanks as always for supporting the content. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.